One Zambia, One Nation. Thank you so much for joining us on this edition of Zanis News. I'm your presenter, Sarah Miti. We take a look at the stories that made headlines. Increase in infernos ex-Chilanga DC. Health personnel worry over lack of water supply at Kyangoji Rural Health Post. King Mswati III lives for Eswatini. And in sports, Chitumbo Mwali wins 2023 Zambia Closed Individual Chess Championship. The news in detail with our first story from Lusaka Province, where Chilanga District Commissioner David Sheleni has expressed concern with the increase in infernos being experienced in the district. Chilanga District has recorded 2 separate fire incidents in less than 2 weeks, in which one has led to the death of a 9-month-old baby, and the source of the fire remains unknown. Here are the details.
9 months Angel Piri has lost her life after the roof of the house she was left to sleep in by the mother caught fire. This incident occurred on Monday in Mwembeshi ward of Chilanga district. The grandmother and neighbors to the deceased explain what transpired.
Kupyoka kaena inali cha kuma 9 to 10 kunangopezeka chabe muliro wayaka amayi bake anangomugoneka kutani mugoneke wagona mwana je kudabwa chabe muliro wayaka chabe nyumba yapya
ndia poleji mpaka mnyamula gona enda moja na tensambeko mmendo kuja kuti nyende nsambe mmendo nyabwera kuja mpeza chusi mati chigwere kuja kudoka vane china gwera pa do
Mwembeshi Area Councillor Brighton Azongwe made this appeal to government.
Tupemba kuti boma idandizire pavuto yamene yatufikira iyi cause kuti mwana tumushike kuzafunika coffee then ina vintu vinango kosa na transport kutembe.
And in response, Chilanga District Commissioner David Sheleni says government will assist the affected family.
We will try to do what we can to assist the family during these difficult times. Hot season, cases of fire normally tend to be frequent. So people need to be quite careful.
This is the second fire incident that has occurred in less than 2 weeks within the district. Nkwetoka Pekele, Zanis, Chilanga.
Zambia and the Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC, are in the process of establishing the Luapula River Authority to manage the shared water bodies between the two countries. Minister of Water Development and Sanitation, Mike Mposha, who disclosed the development, says the consultative process regarding the establishment of the Luapula River Authority has reached an advanced stage. Speaking at a weekly media briefing hosted at the Ministry of Information and Media, Mr. Mposha says Zambia's territory is entirely in shared river basins. He said Zambia has decided to assent to the UN Water Convention. The minister also disclosed that government will, by November this year, complete the installation of 1,350 new water boreholes countrywide at a cost of 69 million kwacha, which will benefit 243,000 people.
This will be a bilateral river basin organization between Congo, DR, and Zambia. The Luapula River Authority will be a special purpose vehicle that will manage the shared developmental investments dependent on resources in areas of agriculture between Congo, DR, and Zambia in Luapula province, and actualize potential transboundary benefit sharing opportunities.
There's no one who is above the law. No one, including even you who inform the people. If we feel that, there's somewhere you are not doing things right, the law enforcement agency have the right to come and find out from you that, how did you do this and that? So that is within our laws that govern us. So there's no one who is above the law. Especially us who are holding the public offices. We are accountable to the people.
Now, China Non-Ferrous Mining Corporation, CNMC, has announced plans to dewater its Luansha mine Shaft 28 on the Copper Belt in order to recommence operations. CNMC President Zhang Jinjun made the announcement during a high-level meeting with Minister of Commerce, Trade and Industry, Chipoka Mlenga, in Beijing, China. More in the following report.
Economic hope is underway in Luansha district as majority shareholders in the Luansha copper mine, China Non-Ferrous Metal Mining, have indicated that Shaft 28 may be operational soon after identifying a reliable engineering firm to dewater it. Company President Zhang Jinjan assured Commerce, Trade and Industry Minister Chipoka Mlenga, who visited the CNMC headquarters in Beijing, China, that his company understands the economic impact of the mine to Zambia, stating that the dewatering process may commence soon.
So, Your Honourable Minister, hereby I can assure you that we will treat the 28 shaft flooding problem as our top priority, and we will apply our strongest team to resolve it as soon as possible. And in how to resolve and restore the mining of the 28 shaft, we have right now come up with the preliminary solutions.
The CNMC president said the mine, which has not been in operation since 2014, is expected to create over 2,000 direct jobs once commissioned, stating that the company further intends to inject in a $1 million investment in it. Mr. Mlenga, on the other hand, was of the view that once the mine becomes operational, it will greatly contribute to Zambia's target of producing 3 million metric tons of copper per annum.
My government is a government that believes that there can only be economic development if we have more investment on investment within investment. I understand that it will take a lot of financial investment to remove the water. But we need to find a way between CNMC and Zambian government of how we can get the water out and access the copper that is sitting under the shaft.
Currently, Shaft 28 holds about 170 million cubic liters of water. Meanwhile, CNMC has announced that it has set aside $1 million in social corporate responsibility programs to be undertaken in various sectors of the country's economy. The company also says it will increase its investment in Zambia due to the stable macroeconomic fundamentals owing to the country's peaceful political environment and the sound political leadership being driven by the current leadership. CNMC are also the developers of the Chambeshi and Lusaka East multi-facility economic zones. Kalan Mchima reporting for Zanis, Beijing, China.
We take our first break, and when we return, Northwestern Province Acting Health Director Malisheni Mumbuna bemoans lack of water supply at Kiangoji Rural Health Post. Stay tuned.
Hello, it's time for you to know your rights. For ignorance of the law is no defense.
People should report any case of gender-based violence to the police. They should not be tempted to compromise the cases, because compromising a case of gender-based violence is actually an offense.
Zambia, like any other country, has got laws that govern the welfare of its citizens.
We provide some oversight on the police service.
When an officer misconducts himself, he's alone. One person being beaten is enough for the commission to move. The Constitution tells us that the people of Zambia must enjoy their liberties.
Every week on Thursday at 19:30 hours, the Zambia News and Information Services, Zanis, brings to your screens a program dubbed Police and the Community.
If we, the police, and you, member of the public, will work together, because the common enemy we have before us is the criminal.
Catch Zanis TV on Channel 6 DTT and Channel 458 DTH. Zanis TV, the People's Channel.
Welcome back. Northwestern Province Acting Health Director Malisheni Mumbuna has bemoaned the lack of water supply at Kiangoji Rural Health Post in Kalumbila District. Mr. Mumbuna has stressed the need to urgently connect piped water to the area in order to prevent the transmission of infections. Here's a report.
Access to clean water and sanitation is very important for any healthy facility because this helps in maintaining a sterile environment and prevents the spread of infections. But this is not the case at this rural health post in Kalumbira district. The unhealthy environment prompted Northwestern Provincial Acting Health Director Marisheni Mumbuna to make this appeal to government.
To lobby that the money given to us as CDF, part of it could be used to bring piped water here as well as toilets.
Mr. Mumbuna is optimistic that with the expanded Constituency Development Fund CDF, the water scarcity will be sorted out. He also believes that another staff house can also be built using the same CDF funds.
I'm sure that is possible. The government has empowered us through CDF, so that's why we are lobbying through your office, being the highest office, and also the highest office in the district, who is the DC, to assist us to have those requests brought into fruition.
A resident of Kiangoji community, Juliet Kako, had this to say. Reporting for Zanis in Kalumbira district, Northwestern Province, I'm Hemit Hachinonde.
Farmers in Monze district of Southern Province have appealed to government to work on the damaged dams in the district in order to provide water for their livestock and crop irrigation. Bwengwa area has more than 9 damaged and dried up dams, subjecting livestock farmers to walk long distances to Kafir flats in search of water for their livestock. Details are in the following report.
Dams have since historical times played a critical role in provision of water for various uses, including water for livestock in rural areas. Sadly, most of the dams in areas such as Bwengwa in Monze district have become dry after being damaged by natural causes such as floods, while others by lack of constant maintenance. This situation has affected cattle farmers as these dams are their only source of water for their livestock.
Ipenzi lyamenda lyagomena chakuti damu mumwalibona mbuli yakahwaso so mubone tujiri mu July onomenda atyani amani koti potutikasire mu August kuyosika mu October koti chambo tutulaba mapenzi mapata ng'ombe chakuti menda alipenyere so kulomba kwesuba kwati kwa kuti damu tikachikonyeka kiita napo orahura bahambane kutusingira kambota amwaka oyubora yakuwangura ukajene kwamboti damu lilihire muhyobo koti nisitwapatirira limu ime ikwakuti na me kule maningi steri ikwati
damu no Monze lyakahwaga indi maningi so mukuhwaga indi damu tujisibuyu muyu mu maningi kumakanahi kubwa Yesu kwambiha ng'ombe alimu ampongo so ganji tutoroga fio flat ulahu tutuganyuhe ng'ombe so kulomba yawe sikwa kuti bamutubikire damu eri damu lyesu yabana Monze tujisi ng'ombe almost 20,000 iwa uita benefit damu lyesu wamana tulandi ha maningi uti damu lyesu uti nali yalola maria kalaga botu twalima ihu bamatumbu gabajana ma benefit mukusambala ihu tomato.
Civic leaders have also expressed grave concern over the worsening state of dams in the district and have called for swift action from the government.
As you can see, this is June, but the dam is getting dry. On this dam, we have not less than 20,000 cattle, which are depending on this same dam. We have got people around this area. These people, they are doing gardening. As you can see, there are gardens around.
Even the neighboring dam, the other one, is also damaged. So this makes it difficult for the farmers to actually service.
Frederick Macha for Zanis News in Monze District, Southern Province.
In Northern Province, Lunte District Agriculture Coordinator Henry Kapesa has expressed happiness with farmers under the sustainable intensification of smallholder farming systems in Zambia for embracing conservation farming and mechanization. Mr. Kapesa has explained that 386 farmers from Mlenga Mupesa and Sambala cooperatives have been trained under the project. Sylvia Zulu brings us this report.
The Sustainable Intensification of Smallholder Farming Systems in Zambia is a European Union-funded project that aims at intensifying sustainable farming systems in Zambia. Lunte District has empowered 386 farmers from Mulengamapesa and Sambala cooperatives with knowledge on mechanization and conservation farming.
Hapa lefu ako kuti ngatuwalinga tulefu okulima wanulima kuti tuwalima within 30 minutes nishina tupuisha nga tuwalima na tractor nokubyala fyonsha nishina tubyala mokale elo kabili teyapo peka n'obusomboshi bule moneka bwino sana
so tulefu aisha sana i project ikonkanyepo kwena bashulumi abenge n'abatampo kumona mu bukumu obwa kuti i project ifo yaisa na masambiliro na yafa sana bashulumi kuti yakonkanyapo kuyapa pantanshi mukubonsha fine batusambisha ngabasifala.
Lunte District Agriculture Coordinator Henry Kapesa outlined the performance of the project in the district so far.
We can say it's been a success, especially in the area of conservation agriculture, because our farmers are now able to appreciate the benefit of using conservation agriculture. Like I mentioned before, this has not been there in the district. If it's there, then very few farmers. But now they are able to articulate and even understand the use, how the certain crops work.
Other than empowering farmers with the knowledge, the cooperatives have also been connected to providers where they can get their machinery from. Reporting for Zanis, Sylvia Zulu in Lunte District.
The local authority in Mpulungu District has dispersed Constituency Development Fund CDF loans to 33 individuals, business entities and cooperatives in the district under the 2022 CDF. Mpulungu Member of Parliament Leonard Mbao has revealed that the CDF committee gave out almost 3 million kwacha. Mr. Mbao, who is also Northern Province Minister, has expressed hope that the loans will help improve productivity in the area. The lawmaker has revealed that the funds for the 2023 empowerment loans have also been dispersed to the local authority, and soon the applicants that had remained will be considered. Mr. Mbao has since called for applications urging would-be beneficiaries to be honest with how and what kind of business they intend to pursue.
The government, again through CDF, we managed to approve about 33 companies, cooperatives and individuals, those who are already in business, those who want to do things to improve productivity. The impact of that is going to be increased productivity, where we are going to see more happening in the district. We gave out up to a tune of almost 3 million kwacha, and we are coming back again after just a month or so to give more, because we have been given money for 2023 for the empowerment loans. We have it here. So what we just want is not to leave other people behind. We want everyone else to take part. So we want people to, even those who didn't have a chance to apply last year, so that they come through and apply, so that they are also considered in terms of these loans.
We take another break, but still ahead in the news, King Mswati III jets back home to Eswatini.
Life is a journey full of varied experiences. Can we reach our desired destiny? Can we achieve our desired goals? If yes, then how? Join Juliet Mutale on Thursday at 18:30 hours on How I Made It, a program that highlights various success stories from different personalities with different life experiences and backgrounds. Catch Zanis TV on Channel 6 DTT and Channel 458 DTH. Zanis TV, the People's Channel.
Welcome back. In Muchinga Province, Provincial Permanent Secretary Henry Mukungule says the provincial administration will continue to embark on partnership and collaborative programs with various stakeholders in order to boost and drive investment in the province. Mr. Mukungule says this is being done in an effort to ensure that the Muchinga Investment Forum and Exposition is a success. Pamela Inabao has the rest of the story.
In order to hold a successful event, there is need for various stakeholders to come on board for support. This is why some committee members of the Muchinga Expo slated for October this year, led by the Provincial Permanent Secretary Henry Mukungule, took time to hold meetings with the several companies during this year's Zambia International Trade Fair in Ndola District on the Copper Belt to lobby for support. Mr. Mukungule is happy that most of the companies met are willing to support the Muchinga Expo.
We have met a number of companies to seek for support, and most of them have come out to indicate that they are going to support us. One, in terms of participation at the Muchinga province, as well as support in terms of finances for us to be able to prepare for the expo. It has been very, very fruitful. The number of companies that we have seen have actually promised to support us.
The Provincial Permanent Secretary says partnership is an important aspect that brings development in an area.
Even ourselves, we want to promote partnership because we know we cannot exist on our own. We have to exist in partnership with other countries. We are not an island. We have to trade between countries, and this calls for partnership between the countries and several other countries. This is what is going to speed up the development of our nations and the economies of our nations.
Meanwhile, Muchinga Province Expo Co-Coordinator Sandra Kambleki says the Muchinga Expo preparations are on course.
Had a lot of companies that have pledged support and have come on board to come and be part of the investment forum and expo. And aside the expo, we're also going to be having the groundbreaking of the museum that His Excellency the President will come and put a foundation stone. So the website is running. People have started registering.
Some of the companies that the team held meetings with during this year's trade fair are ZCCM Investment Holdings, Indeni, Nitrogen Chemicals of Zambia, among others. Pamela Inambao reporting for Zanis in Ndola, Copperbelt Province.
King Mswati III has left Zambia for the Kingdom of Eswatini after concluding his 5-day state visit. The Eswatini monarch and his delegation were seen off at the Kenneth Kaunda International Airport by President Hakainde Hichilema and other government officials. King Mswati was in the country for a 5-day state visit in reciprocity of President Hakainde Hichilema's state visit to the Kingdom of Eswatini in June 2022. During his state visit, King Mswati held talks with his host, President Hichilema, on pertinent matters of mutual interest at bilateral, regional, and international levels. King Mswati also officiated at this year's Zambia International Trade Fair in Ndola before touring the Lusaka South Multi-Facility Economic Zone to appreciate Zambia's economic diversification and transformation agenda. King Mswati also sampled the country's tourism when he visited the tourist capital Livingstone and gazed upon the Victoria Falls, undertook a drive in the Mosi-Otunya National Park for a game view, and got on a boat cruise on the Zambezi River. In Eastern Province, the Catholic Church in Vubi District has intensified measures to curb the escalating child marriages and teenage pregnancies in the area by enrolling more than 500 children into an adolescent church production group. Davison Sakala reports that the children have underscored some of the benefits that come with associating with a church group.
More than 500 children have enrolled into a Catholic church group aimed at reducing child marriages and teenage pregnancies in Vubi District. Eastern Province Minister Peter Piri inspected the group in the presence of newly ordained Bishop Msipo Piri and was happy with the interest from the children.
Nasangalala pamene naona wachitsika na ujawaverenga mawa Mulungu mopanda chibwibwi. Wanista impress. So nilikulimbikisani kunkhalanga ti provincial minister wakuno kumawa kuti tieni tumikire Mulungu ni mtima watu tonse, tieni tipite kuma skulu tiikeko nzeru izi zina za kuziko tizazipeza kusogolo. So tifuniko nkhala olimbikira kunkhala imwe bana ndi mwazisogoleri bakusogolo.
And the matron for the group, Maria Napiri, has described the fight against early marriages as a multi-sectoral endeavor where the church is amongst the key players.
As the bishop has said that we should help to curb early marriages. So, as the church, we thought we should keep our youth very busy to avoid them, to involve themselves in these other vices. So like they came here, they have spent maybe almost a week here. At least we teach them a lot of things that is socially on how they should conduct themselves out there, concerning especially the drug abuse. So we sensitize them on those. Even on early marriages, those that are lazy in school, we encourage them. And those that have stopped, we even encourage them to come back to school. So as a church, we teach them in a lot of things so that they can come back to school, they keep themselves busy.
Meanwhile, a representative from amongst the children has underscored some of the benefits that come with associating with the church group.
Pali ma early marriages, tikakhala monga mu group ya so, timaisa avoid pakutenga kombali muzintchito zosiyana-siyana za mu mpingo, monga kugawana mawu a Mulungu, kukankhala monga kuzintchito zina, kuthandizira wanzathu vaja kuti ali ofoka mwene angakwanirisa kugwira ntchito ya Mulungu koma wefe ali ofoka.
Davison Sakala, reporting for Zanis in Vuba District.
In sports news, international master Chitumbo Mwali lived up to the billing when he emerged winner of the 2023 Zambia Closed Individual Chess Championship. Mwali, who walked away with a 10,000 kwacha as first prize, won with 7.5 points on tiebreak, beating his closest rival, Gilan Walia, Timothy Kabwe, and William Mwape. The tournament, which had a prize bag of 74,000 kwacha, attracted over 250 participants, including women and children from all the 10 provinces. The championship, staged at Lusaka Boys Secondary School from the 1st to the 4th of July 2023, saw 195 people compete in the open section, 35 in the women's category, and 30 in the children's category under 18 years. Zanis Sports reports that Chess Federation of Zambia President Leslie Chikuse said the winner of the tournament has automatically won a spot in the national team for 2023 and also qualifies to the last phase of the 2024 qualifiers for the national team. Chikuse says he was impressed with the turnout for this year compared to last year, as people have shown enthusiasm and interest for chess. Chikuse said the federation was impressed with the turnout of women and children, adding that this was a step in the right direction for the growth and development of the sport.
Chitumbo Mwali, as you may be aware, Zambia qualified amongst the few African countries that are going to basically take part in the World Championship in Azerbaijan. And Zambia will be represented by international master and current national champion Chitumbo Mwali in Azerbaijan, where he's going to fight for the World Championship. Now, the World Championship is the biggest world event. If, for example, Chitumbo Mwali was to win that championship, of course it's got stages, but if he was to win up to the final, he becomes the world champion. You can imagine how big that tournament is. So it's a tournament which gives him an opportunity to become world champion. So all the world champions take part in that tournament. So we're going to have the likes of Magnus Carlsen, Dean, and all the greatest players, the likes of Gary Kasparov, Kapov, Bobby Fischer, have all played at the World Championship. So this is a tournament, and of course, Chitumbo will be going with our arbiter, Chandan Sakanya, who is the only African who has been picked to become the referee.
Lusaka Central Member of Parliament, Mlambo Haimbe, says he will continue coming up with different activities aimed at promoting sports disciplines for the youth in his constituency. Mr. Haimbe, who is also Minister of Justice, says engaging boys and girls in sports activities can help them desist from engaging in illicit activities. We now have a report.
So today is the final day of the 4-day inaugural Lusaka Central Boys football tournament. I know the question will be why boys? We'll be having another edition later on which will encompass the women folk, the girl child. So this time around we said usually on the long weekend like this, our young men find themselves in all sorts of vices, alcohol, drugs, and so on and so forth. So when we began on day one, we actually had the Drug Enforcement Commission, and through the days of the tournament, we had different mentors coming to speak to these young people. Over 350 participants we had in this tournament. Right now, we're down to the final game.
We are delighted as Discover Insurance to be associated with the Mlambo Haimbe football tournament. We availed ourselves for two reasons. One, we want to be part of the solution to the escalating junkies in our communities, in our society, by making sure that the youngsters are kept busy and are given alternative, a good alternative from being junkies.
This is the final day of the tournament, courtesy of the Mlambo Haimbe Foundation in conjunction with Discover Insurance. So this is the final match for the under-16 that's being played, and this is between Galacticos and Billy Sports Academy. We had, in total, we had 9 academies. In terms of the total for the teams, that's the under 12, under 14, and the under 16. We had 20 teams in total.
And that sporting item brings us to the end of the news. But before we go, we take a look at the stories that made headlines once again. Increase in infernos ex-Chilanga DC. Health personnel worry over lack of water supply at Kyangoji Rural Health Post. King Mswati III leaves for Eswatini. And in sports, Chitumbo Mwali wins 2023 Zambia Closed Individual Chess Championship. And that is the end of the news. Thank you so much for joining us. On behalf of the entire news production team, this is Sarah Miti. Pleasant viewing.